dairy farm, and I just want to show you that the so-called image of idyll is one that's completely false and needs blowing away forever. Many of you watching this will be a mum. Certainly you've all got a mum. I'm a mum, and we like to push aside the horror of what we do to other species precisely because they can be a mum. Dairy farming is all about cows giving milk, but they only give milk because they're pregnant for 9 months, and then they give birth, they have their baby, and the milk kicks in. Let me just show you the state of some of the dairy cows on this farm. This poor animal who's limping away from us. Look at the size of her udders. The reason I'm carrying this carton is to show you, to remind you what a litre looks like. These poor animals have been selectively bred to produce 28 litres of milk every day, 10 times more than is natural. So, before every milking, they'll be carrying 14 litres. That's 30 pounds weighing down their udders. And what happens is what's happening to her and happens to cows across the UK is that you get a complete body breakdown. They literally cannot withstand the amount of milk that they've been selectively bred to produce. So here she is. You can see her pelvic bones sticking right through. You can see her spine sticking right through. You can see her extended udders. You can see she's limping. I mean, she just shouldn't be left in this state anyway. The poor mother. You see this lady here who's lying down. If you just look at the size of her udders. I just can't imagine what pain these cows are in. This cow is giving birth literally right now, and that should be, you know, a reason for celebration, the start of new life. She's had a 9-month pregnancy, she's giving birth, and we know that that baby will be taken from her certainly within 3 days, and that happens across the board to all cows after having gone through that pregnancy. And any woman watching this who knows what it's like going through that 9-month pregnancy, the absolute and total powerful unconditional love you give your child, it's no different for any other mammal. We're just another mammal, and yet we like to push aside the fact that we have completely and utterly trashed motherhood within the dairy industry as if it's meaningless, as if it's nothing. And the only reason that we take their calves from them is so that we as human society can have all of their milk. They're not allowed to suckle their own babies. That's how greedy this industry is. And if he's a boy, he's going to be just shot in the head as a so-called useless byproduct. Or he may be kept alive for a short while and killed for veal or for beef. If she's a girl, then she may go on obviously to be within the herd and go through the terrible torment that her mum's going through. And it's just a repeated cycle of giving birth, then producing milk, having your baby stolen from you, and going through that again and again until your milk production drops, and then you're in for it, you're dead. You know what, the thing is, watching this animal give birth to new life, and this whole new life, a miracle of birth. Look, his head's coming out now, oh my God. It's just so beautiful and so tragic at the same time. Oh my God. Bless her, it's her baby. Oh. Oh. This is her baby, belongs to her. We have no right to do this. So tiny, so beautiful, so vulnerable. So these are the beautiful calves that have been taken from their mums. You can see that they've got these tiny hutches. We've checked their ear tags, they're about 4 months old, these calves, and in fact it's against the law to keep them in these hutches beyond 8 weeks. So you just imagine, you know, what it must feel like to them to just be isolated from their mums right from the word go. And this is it, they can't exercise, you can see they can barely move. They're kept, I don't know if you can see this, but it's pretty much deep in shit and mud here. This is just no life for any animal. It's they're getting to the point where they're finding it hard to turn around. You've not got any water either, have you? Oh, hello, 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 hello. Oh my goodness. I just find this so upsetting. You know, this baby that wants to be with your mum, don't you? Hey, suckling on my finger, desperately. Something to suckle, hey? If any of this upsets you, the answer is just to go dairy-free, go vegan. Oh dear God. Okay, we're going to have to go and find some water. They can't even bother to give them fresh, you know, straw. They're standing in mud and shit. Got no water at all in the buckets. Got nowhere to exercise. It's just, yeah, it's just obscene. This little calf doesn't even get to suckle her own mum's milk. She's given an artificial teat with artificial milk. At the same farm, we discovered 2 cows lying on a dirty concrete floor. They couldn't even stand. They were in such a pitiful state that we contacted the RSPCA and called out a local vet. It was 3 in the morning.
It's obviously got shackles on, so... This is fairly fresh, but that isn't quite so fresh. I'm just going to try and lift her head and see how responsive she is. Obviously the eyes down. Find her like that and have her disposed of, you know, and that could be within the realms of a reasonable thing to do. But if we're going to do that, I need to phone the police.
That animal is suffering, as you've agreed, and I think that's our duty.
The second cow was in a dreadful way, lying in her own excreta, but the vet said he couldn't euthanize her.
When they're like this, you think maybe they've done the splits or hurt themselves, or she could have carved and pinched a nerve. The problem is that we don't have any background, so it's really hard to just jump to conclusions. We don't know how long they've been down for, and what attempts the farmers made to treat them, whether they're already under veterinary care or not, and whether they've received any medication. The only comment I would make is that it might be nice if they were well bedded.
So I'm on the way to try and film inside a Cadbury farm. Obviously we've chosen Cadbury because they're the second biggest confectionery giant in the whole world, so they're absolutely enormous. So we want to have a look at what the farms are like that supply Cadbury in a farm that's near Bristol. I'm with my team, all women as it happens, and They're an intrepid and brave lot, and we're doing this again, and obviously it's not a pleasant part of our work. See, this poor animal has got distorted udders and it looks like an abscess that's been left on the side of her udders. Hello, hello lady, hello you beautiful, hello, hello. All this death and misery, you know, for something that's a product that none of us need, but if we want it, just get the vegan version. Look, she's desperate to suckle from her mother, she's just a baby. And she's kept isolated. There are no other calves, you know, there's no one next to her. It's just empty. She's just left and can hear her mother bellowing over there. It's just insane. Her life is worth more than a chocolate bar. At this farm, hundreds of uncomprehending little calves are confined here for 2 months. If they were children, it would be considered torture. So we're now at an Arla farm in Somerset. They're the 4th biggest dairy company in the whole world. So let's go inside and see what we can find. Just try to imagine what it's like to have your baby taken away from you. I mean, I find it really, really hard to go there. But this is what dairy farming is. This is an example of the rapidly growing zero grazing method. These cows never get to see a blade of grass in their entire lives. So you've got to ask yourself, if this upsets you, baby's been taken from their mum and just treated like this, and with not even the most basic care, then is it worth it for that ice cream or that bite of chocolate or cheese? Because you can buy vegan alternatives to all of it now, really delicious alternatives, and none of this cruelty is involved. So just say, for your sake, ask everybody, please, please, please go vegan.